From Kentucky to the peak of Hollywood, Jennifer Schrader Lawrence Today. Her name brings to mind more than just an Oscar statuette or blockbuster movies. She is one of the rare stars who reached the top of Hollywood without losing her authenticity. But her success was not a miracle that happened overnight. It was a long journey filled with struggle, rejection, courage, and unexpected turning points. Fairytale, A Quiet Beginning, Louisville, Kentucky. Jennifer Lawrence was born on August 15, 1990, in Louisville, Kentucky. She grew up far away from Hollywood glamour in a conservative and modest environment. Her mother, Karen Lawrence, managed a children's camp, while her father, Gary Lawrence, worked in construction. She grew up with two older brothers, Ben and Blaine. Her childhood was far from easy. Jennifer has openly spoken about her hyperactivity and social anxiety, explaining how she struggled to fit in at school. Yet, this very sense of not belonging became the foundation of her creativity. She felt most comfortable when she made people laugh. From a young age, she loved imitating others and performing. Still, becoming an actress felt like an unrealistic dream in the world she grew up in. Fate or coincidence? A life-changing moment in New York. At the age of 14, during a family trip to New York City, Jennifer was discovered by a talent scout on the street. It was the kind of moment that sounds like a Hollywood myth, but for her, it was real. Despite her family's hesitation, Jennifer was determined. She left school and continued with home education, fully committing to acting. It was a risky decision. Failure would leave her with no safety net. She attended countless auditions and faced rejection after rejection. What made her stand out, however, was her raw, unfiltered realism in front of the camera. She didn't act. She lived the role. First steps, television. Jennifer's professional career began with small TV roles, including appearances in Monk, Cold Case, and Medium. Her first major break came in The Bill Envell Show, 2008, where she showcased both her comedic and dramatic abilities. The role earned her a Young Artist Award nomination and marked the moment Hollywood began to take her seriously. Still, Jennifer wanted more. Her true goal was cinema. Independent cinema breakthrough. Winter's Bone. Everything changed with Winter's Bone, 2008. Jennifer played a young girl searching for her missing father in a bleak, drug-ridden community. At just 19 years old, her performance stunned critics worldwide. The role earned her an Academy Award nomination, a Golden Globe nomination, numerous critics' awards. She became one of the youngest Best Actress nominees in Oscar history. Hollywood could no longer ignore her, becoming Katniss Everdeen. In 2012, Jennifer was cast as Katniss Everdeen in The Hunger Games. Studio executives hesitated, claiming she looked too ordinary and didn't fit traditional beauty standards. But her audition convinced the filmmakers instantly. When the film premiered, it became a global phenomenon, grossing over $690 million worldwide. Katniss was not a damsel in distress. She was strong, angry, compassionate, and real. Jennifer became the voice of a generation. Fame and pressure. With fame came intense scrutiny. Her body, her expressions, even her eating habits became tabloid headlines. Instead of submitting, Jennifer spoke out. "I'm not going to starve myself for a role." Her honesty turned her into a symbol of body positivity and authenticity. X-Men and the Oscar win. While filming X-Men, Jennifer endured hours of painful makeup as Mystique. She openly criticized the harsh working conditions, challenging industry norms. In 2013, she won the Academy Award for Best Actress for Silver Linings Playbook. At 22, she was one of the youngest winners ever. Even when she fell on the Oscar stairs, she laughed and the world loved her even more. Second, media pressure and cybercrime. In 2014, Jennifer became one of the victims of a massive celebrity photo hack. Her private images were leaked online without consent. She called it what it was. It was a sex crime, not a scandal. The psychological toll was immense. She withdrew from the spotlight, struggling with anxiety and loss of trust, speaking up for equal pay. In 2015, Jennifer publicly revealed she had been paid less than her male co-stars. Her open letter sparked global debate on gender pay inequality in Hollywood. Though praised by many, she was also labeled difficult by some executives. Still, she refused to stay silent. Stepping away, by 2018, Jennifer announced she was taking a break from acting. Burnout, emotional exhaustion, and the need to reclaim herself pushed her to step back. Serie A private love story. Jennifer married art gallery director Cook Maroney in 2019. He was far removed from Hollywood fame, offering her balance and stability. "For the first time, I don't feel like I have to prove anything," she said. Motherhood. In 2022, Jennifer became a mother. This experience reshaped her priorities. She became more selective with projects and distanced herself from constant public exposure. Motherhood didn't soften her honesty, deepened it. Siri, a new career phase. C. When Jennifer returned to acting, she chose complex, emotionally rich female roles rather than blockbusters. Critics noted a deeper, more restrained power in her performances. Second, who Jennifer Lawrence really is. Off-camera, Jennifer is introverted, humorous, and deeply human. She avoids luxury excess and values privacy. She mentors younger actors and openly supports women's rights. She never chased perfection, she embraced reality. 6. Net worth and success. Estimated net worth, $160 to $180 million. Major earnings from Hunger Games and X-Men. Long-term luxury brand partnership with Dior, yet money was never her identity, only a tool for freedom. Her place in Hollywood history. Jennifer Lawrence changed Hollywood. She normalized speaking out, challenged body standards, brought wage inequality into mainstream conversation. Today, she is quieter, more selective, but stronger than ever. Spotlight fades. There comes a moment in every great career when applause grows quieter. Not because the world stops watching, but because the person at the center chooses distance. For Jennifer Lawrence, this moment did not arrive with failure or scandal. It arrived with clarity. After years of constant exposure, she began to understand something most stars realize too late. Fame does not end when the cameras turn off. It follows you home, into your thoughts, into your silence. And Jennifer, for the first time, wanted silence. She stopped chasing visibility. She stopped explaining herself. She stopped performing Jennifer Lawrence for the world. What emerged was not a disappearance, but a transformation, redefining success in a loud industry. Hollywood celebrates momentum. The next project, the bigger opening weekend, the louder headline. Jennifer Lawrence walked away from that rhythm. Instead of asking, "What will keep me relevant?" she began asking, "What feels honest?" This shift was subtle but radical. CH declined roles that mirrored her past success. She turned down projects that promised money but not meaning. She resisted becoming a brand version of herself. In doing so, she broke one of Hollywood's unspoken rules. Never slow down at the top. But Jennifer did, and that decision reshaped her legacy. The evolution of her craft. Early in her career, Jennifer Lawrence was praised for her rawness, her ability to cry without vanity, to rage without restraint, to exist on screen without polish. As she matured, something changed. Her performances became quieter, more restrained, more internal. She no longer needed explosive emotion to command attention. A glance, a pause, a silence held just a second too long. Critics noticed this evolution. They wrote that Jennifer Lawrence had moved from instinctive talent to conscious mastery. She wasn't proving herself anymore. She was expressing herself. Themes: motherhood and the rewriting of identity. Motherhood did not soften Jennifer Lawrence, it grounded her. In interviews, she spoke about fear in a way she never had before. Not fear of failure, not fear of criticism, but fear of loss. This new emotional center changed everything. How she chose roles, how long she stayed on set, how much of herself she gave away publicly. She became fiercely protective of her inner life. For the first time, her identity was not anchored in achievement, but in presence. And paradoxically, this made her stronger as an artist. Fame, trauma, and healing. The cybercrime she endured years earlier never truly vanished. Trauma doesn't disappear, transforms. Jennifer Lawrence rarely revisits that chapter publicly now. Not because it no longer matters, but because she reclaimed ownership of her story. Scene no longer allows her worst moments to define her public narrative. This quiet reclaiming without speeches, without statements, became one of her most powerful acts. She taught something rarely seen in celebrity culture. You don't owe the world access to your pain. Finn's a different kind of role model. Jennifer Lawrence never set out to be a role model. She didn't curate inspiration. She didn't brand empowerment. She simply refused to lie. That refusal to pretend perfection, to minimize injustice, to dilute her discomfort, is what made her influential. Young actresses now speak more openly, negotiate harder, say no without apology. They may not cite her directly, but the door she helped open remains unmistakable. Dump wealth without worship. Money came early to Jennifer Lawrence, and in extraordinary amounts, yet she never treated wealth as a destination. She didn't build an empire around herself. She didn't turn her life into a product line. Instead, she used financial independence to do something radical in Hollywood. She bought time. Time to step back. Time to heal. Time to choose. In an industry where desperation often masquerades as ambition, Jennifer Lawrence used success to create space. Public silence as power. One of the most misunderstood aspects of Jennifer Lawrence's later career is her quietness. Some interpret it as retreat, others as fading relevance. But silence, when chosen, is not absence. It is authority. She no longer reacts to every headline. She no longer corrects every misconception. She allows the work hand at the gaps between it to speak. This is not withdrawal. It is control. The woman Hollywood didn't expect. Hollywood expected Jennifer Lawrence to become one of two things: a polished, untouchable icon, or a burned-out former prodigy. She became neither. She became a woman who understood her limits and honored them. She aged without panic. She evolved without apology. She stepped away without explanation. And in doing so, she challenged one of the industry's deepest fears. That relevance requires what her story really means. Jennifer Lawrence's story is not about fame. It's about agency. Not about talent, but about boundaries. Not about success, but about sustainability. She showed that you can rise fast and still slow down. You can be visible without being consumed. You can be admired without being owned. Her career is not a straight line upward. It is a circle returning again and again to selfhood. Jennifer Lawrence did not chase immortality. She chose authenticity. She did not cling to youth. She embraced growth. She did not let the world define her value. She defined it herself. And that is why her story lasts. Not because she shined the brightest, but because she learned when to step out of the light. In a world obsessed with being seen, Jennifer Lawrence mastered the courage to be whole. From ashes to legend, every story has a rhythm. You just have to listen deeply.